Welcome to From the Desk of ShechetAI.
Okay there.
Today we're doing another deep dive, looking into some of the latest currents in artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and our mission really is to try and cut through some of the noise.
Exactly. Giving you, a clearer view. We look at things through a philosophical lens, a business one, and societal impacts, too.
Mm-hmm. And it's for everyone, really, whether
Yeah.
you're deep into AI already or just kind of curious about what's happening next. We're hoping to help unpack it.
Okay, so today we've got three pretty interesting articles we're drawing from. They show AI heading in some, well, sometimes conflicting directions.
That's right. We'll be talking about the sort of lukewarm debut of GPT-5, surprisingly.
Right, and then there's this big U.S. collaboration, the National Science Foundation and NVIDIA.
Yeah, a major push there.
Yeah.
And also a pretty amazing discovery in medicine using AI to find new antibiotics.
So these are just like separate news items. They kind of hint at the deeper technical stuff, the strategic moves, and, well, the big societal questions bubbling up under all the hype.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's get into what's really going on behind the headlines.
Okay, let's jump in. So first up, that GPT-5 reception. The anticipation was huge, right? Everyone was expecting something, well, revolutionary maybe.
Definitely. Expectations were sky high.
Yeah.
But our sources are saying the actual debut felt, well, disappointing seems to be the word used. A bit anticlimactic.
So what happened? Why the muted reaction?
Well, what's interesting is how this whole situation, the hype versus the reality, it really put a spotlight on some persistent issues, both philosophical and practical ones, with the way we're currently building AI.
Okay.
Yeah, our sources point to critics, people like Gary Marcus, for instance. He's been arguing for a while that just making these models bigger, more data, more parameters, it doesn't actually give them real understanding or, general reasoning skills.
Right, so it's not just about scale, it's something more fundamental.
Exactly. He's saying it's more of an architectural problem. Just scaling up isn't enough to get past these core limitations.
That's a really key difference, isn't it? It's not just needing more computer power. It implies the way these systems think or process information is just fundamentally different from actual intelligence.
Precisely.
Which leads to that big philosophical question in the articles. Are we kind of chasing an illusion of progress here? I mean, can a model that just sounds incredibly convincing actually know anything?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It gets right to the heart of this debate researchers are having. Marcus and others suggest that for real intelligence, AI needs things like world models.
World models, like an internal understanding of how things work.
Yeah, exactly. An internal representation of the world plus strong reasoning abilities, maybe symbolic representations too, so they can handle abstract ideas.
So not just pattern matching on a massive scale.
Right. The idea is that true progress might mean totally different AI architectures, ones that maybe mirror human-like reasoning and a more holistic understanding of the world.
So it's this tension brute force scaling versus, I guess, a deeper, more symbolic approach.
That's the core tension. So as you listen to this, maybe think about what you would consider real proof that an AI truly understands something, rather than just mimicking it incredibly well. What would that look like?
That's a tough one. For me, maybe if it could explain why it reached a conclusion and admit when it's just guessing or doesn't know, that feels closer to understanding.
Yeah, that's a good point. The ability to self-reflect, perhaps.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit from the philosophical side to something very concrete, strategy and business. We're talking about this major collaboration between the NSF, the National Science Foundation, and NVIDIA. Sounds potentially huge for scientific research.
Oh, absolutely. This is framed as a really pivotal moment. Their main aim is to develop open-source AI models, specifically multimodal ones, tailored just for scientific research.
Open source and multimodal, so handling different kinds of data, not just text.
Exactly. Images, sensor data, text, you name it. And the open source part is key. They want to democratize access, make these powerful AI tools available to all sorts of U.S. research institutions, not just the big players.
That sounds like it could really level the playing field.
That's the idea. Empowering universities, smaller labs, broadening the base for innovation.
And if you give more people these powerful tools, you'd expect discoveries to speed up, right? The sources mentioned fields like biology, material science.
For sure. Those are prime examples where sifting through massive data sets or simulating complex systems with AI could lead to breakthroughs much faster.
So beyond just speeding up science, what are the sort of business or strategic upsides to a partnership like this?
Well, the advantages are pretty significant. Firstly, it lowers the barrier to entry for cutting-edge AI research. That inherently makes the whole U.S. research ecosystem more competitive globally.
Right, it's not just one company forging ahead.
Exactly. It enhances the overall competitiveness, positioning the U.S. as a leader. Think of it like building a shared superhighway for research instead of everyone paving their own little paths. It fosters this collaborative edge.
Okay, but big opportunities usually come with big challenges. When you make powerful tools open and widely available, what are the tricky parts? Managing access, ethical use? What about intellectual property?
Yeah, you've nailed the key concerns. They are definitely complex. How do you ensure it's used responsibly? How do you prevent misuse of powerful open source AI without killing innovation?
And the IP question. If research is done using these shared tools, who owns the discoveries, especially in an open source context?
But that's a huge ongoing discussion. How do you balance fostering openness with protecting the valuable IP that comes out of the research? It points to a bigger idea, though,
Which is?
that the future of scientific progress probably relies less on isolated breakthroughs and more on these kinds of well-managed ecosystems and strategic collaborations.
So the lone genius model is fading.
It might be, at least for these really complex data-intensive problems. It makes you think, doesn't it? How could these large-scale democratizing efforts reshape whole industries, maybe even your own career path down the line?
It's definitely food for thought. Okay, now let's pivot one more time to the societal lens, and this is a big one. AI as a catalyst for finding new antibiotics. This feels different. The sources talk about it like technology becoming a vital partner, not just a tool.
It really is a profound shift in perspective. And the problem it's tackling is absolutely enormous antimicrobial resistance, drug resistance.
Yeah, you hear about superbugs.
Exactly. It's like this silent pandemic causing millions of deaths every year because bacteria are evolving faster than we can find new drugs using the old methods.
So AI offers a new way.
A potentially game-changing way. AI can search through unbelievably vast chemical possibilities, spaces no human team could ever explore manually, to find promising new candidates that might actually work against these resistant strains.
Wow. So it's like massively accelerating that discovery pipeline.
Precisely. It's a race against biological evolution, and AI gives us a new, incredibly powerful tool in that race.
Okay, that sounds incredibly hopeful for global health. But if AI is designing these drugs, that must bring up some big societal questions, right? Trust, safety.
Absolutely. It forces us to think about how we, as a society, embrace AI-generated solutions, especially in something as critical as medicine.
Will people trust a drug designed by an algorithm? How do we regulate it effectively?
Those are the crucial hurdles. We need robust frameworks for safety, for validation, for ensuring trust. It's not just about whether the AI can design a drug, but whether we should trust it and how we verify that trust.
And it also raises questions about, like, responsibility, doesn't it? If an AI designs a drug and something goes wrong later, who's accountable?
Exactly. Where does human agency fit in? How much oversight is needed? It's this delicate balance between harnessing the incredible potential and maintaining rigorous human control and ethical judgment.
Yeah. It makes you think, personally, what level of evidence or testing would you need to feel comfortable taking an AI-designed medicine, especially for something serious?
It's a question we'll all likely face in the coming years.
It really is. Okay, so we've looked at the big picture, philosophy, strategy, society. Let's bring it down to something maybe a bit more immediate with our automation idea of the week.
Right.
Because AI isn't just tackling grand challenges, it's also starting to streamline everyday work tasks, things that eat up time we could be using for, well, bigger thinking. This week, an intelligent proposal generator.
Okay, I like the sound of that. So how does it work?
Imagine a system that uses AI, specifically natural language processing and data analysis, to automatically create tailored proposals for clients.
So not just templates, but actually crafting the content.
Right. It learns from your past successful proposals, understands the specific client's needs, maybe from analyzing their website or past communications, and then generates a compelling, clear, optimized proposal.
That could save a lot of time. What are the main benefits?
Well, speed and consistency are obvious ones. But the deeper insight, maybe, is how it kind of democratizes persuasive communication.
How so?
It lets smaller teams or even solo entrepreneurs produce really polished, customized proposals that might have previously required a whole marketing department. It levels the playing field a bit.
Making high-quality outreach more accessible.
Exactly. And crucially, it frees up your time. Less repetitive writing, more time for strategy, for building relationships, for the human touch.
Yeah, tackling that common bottleneck,
Yeah.
the sheer effort of creating good proposals quickly and consistently.
Right. It's about efficiency, sure, but also about maintaining a high standard of professionalism without starting from scratch every single time.
Makes sense. And I can see that being valuable across tons of industries. Really anywhere you need to pitch complex ideas clearly.
So think about your own work or your industry. Is there a process like proposal writing that feels ripe for this kind of intelligent automation? Where could it make a real difference?
Definitely something to consider.
Okay, that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. Looking back at everything we've discussed, it really paints a picture of AI that's, well, complex, lots of optimism, but it needs to be balanced with some realism, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's the key takeaway, I think. You have the GPT-5 situation, which sort of reminds us to be humble about AI's promises right now, to question what intelligence really means in this context.
Yeah, reality check.
But then you contrast that with things like the NSF and NVIDIA partnership, building real infrastructure for future breakthroughs, or AI finding potential new antibiotics.
And you see the transformative power.
Exactly. You see the huge potential when AI is focused on solving tangible, important societal problems.
It's a really interesting contrast. And one thing that struck me from the sources is this idea that maybe AI progress isn't always held back by the technology itself, but by us, by the human challenges of understanding it and trusting it.
That's a powerful point. The hurdles often seem to be less about computational power and more about navigating complexity, ensuring transparency, and building that bridge of trust between humans and these increasingly capable systems.
Yeah.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Making real progress with AI might not just be about making models bigger or faster.
It's more than scale.
Yeah. It might be more about digging deeper into what intelligence means, demanding transparency in how these systems work, and really focusing on collaboration and careful human oversight as we develop and roll them out.
Depth, transparency, collaboration. That sounds like a good compass heading.
Keep thinking about these things, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in to From the Desk of ShechetAI.